Yo, what is up, people? Welcome to Last Call Reacts. You know what, man? This is a tough one for me because this is something I don't even really want to tap into. But we use the videos that we do once a week to highlight certain things in these YouTube streets or current affairs, this, that, the other of it. Welcome to the channel. If you're here, it's a little bit of a different day, man. Do me a favor before we even start. I know you didn't see it yet, but you're going to like it if you like the other ones too. So drop that like, share, and subscribe for me so we can get on and talk about some things. This is Last Call. Welcome to the channel. We do a video once a week. It could be anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes on a subject. And man, I hate this week's subject, but I'll explain to you why I chose it. So every week we do that on a wide range of topics. And we got the live on Fridays at 9 p.m. besides dropping some shorts, some music here and there, and just speaking about the issues, man. But today, damn, I feel like I hit a new low having to put this up here and even talk about this BS. I really call this bullshit. And I'm going to go into it in a way where some of the things that bother me and some of the larger implications of having this case as well. And for you guys out there, what I'm talking about is the stupid Epstein files that have been in the news. Epstein is long gone, and this thing seems to linger. For those of you who want rest for this guy, even though he wasn't a good guy, or just put the whole situation to rest, you need to get to the bottom, and you need transparencies on so many levels of this thing. So we see in the background where it's almost made a mockery, and we're not really analyzing, like I said, the implications of this, more of the serious nature of this, because this isn't just Trump. This isn't just Epstein. This is a certain lifestyle. This is a socioeconomic elitism lifestyle. People would argue the thing about being privileged and elite is you could do your certain things without judgment from commoners, that it allows you to live above the law versus live by the law. And we're seeing this. So if this is a microcosm of society in general, of the have-nots, preferential treatment, the mediocre, or even less than that, being raised to unfathomable positions if they were from a different place, different background, to be able to function like this. The problem is not that Donald Trump bought this sleuth, this degeneracy to the White House. He exposed it. One of the things that I know about this also, all these elites go way back, rub shoulders, bump shoulders, what have you, elbows, I think. Fuck that up. They all know each other. If you think the Clintons, particularly Bill, is absolved of anything in those, what did they say, 23,000 is in the second batch of emails that were released. If there was anything that could break him down without dragging Trump down at the same time, don't you think this idiot would have done that yesterday? He's so fully implicated, woven in the fabric, the connections, the network, all through this, that this is a time where he can't sacrifice any bit of himself already. I might be jumping around a little bit, but it's just more of a little bit of an opinion piece today to get this off my chest, because I don't know if I'm going to bring this to the live. We normally, not that we're all agreeable on the same subjects and stuff, but there's certain things of ethics that we're all on the sides of, and that makes us friends there. And this is just how I break down my live in 3 portions. I wouldn't even want, actually, for the last couple of weeks, and for a while, I'm like, do I make this a point and just go through? But it never seems to go away. It might die down, and then you get the release of this thing. But while this is going on, while he's You're Trump. While he's obstructing justice, because there are young ladies, that's why Epstein went to jail. He preyed on these ladies, on young underage ladies. Say girls, His partner, Ghislaine, weirdo, privileged, courted them and collected them for Epstein and his friends. We've seen recently, although long overdue, King Charles finally admonished or got rid of Prince Andrew, stripped him of his title, said, get out of here, even though we believe he'll be well taken care of. It's quite a gesture that they want to distance himself from anything of that nature. Over here, they're so interwoven in the rich elite that a whole bunch of people, you mean this guy was in jail thinking about all the people that he could bring down and everything. Makes a little suspicious, his offing. But I want you to think about this more particularly. Let me just get into the stuff besides making this long here. Meanwhile, Trump wants transparency through everything MLK, releasing all his private documents that were illegally obtained by J. Edgar Hoover and his COINTELPRO, the personal private things, all because it's a hand to bring down not just black people's heroes, but America's heroes, to dilute the water, so to speak. In a time where it's not necessary, in a time where we should be shaping a history with integrity, he's poking holes in things that don't matter. He released JFK documents, personal ones at that. He's all for that. He's not even uplifting the accomplishments and achievements of different races, genders. He's diluting and destroying to lift himself up. And that's the worst type of human being. When you can't stand on your own achievements, but you have to collapse the foundation around you so that you stand out, that is a sad, sad thing to do. So while he's doing this, he's taking things out of the Smithsonian. He's allowing people to do things to the curriculum, almost erasing like slave. Did you know that? In a lot of history classes now in American history, they'll start from the Civil War up, not the things that led to it. So the little bit that the generations don't know now about it will soon be a memory. They want to put it to the limit of everybody, suffered a little bit without putting their integral, malicious, cruel part in the transatlantic slave trades. They want to do away with that. So now that maybe there's no connection between what they did a long time ago to what is now. And not only that, the places where you would go to replenish your knowledge or to seek some knowledge is now being stripped of those things while you lift up Confederate statues and reminders of the mentality that you want in this country. So this is much bigger than just releasing it. This is a control of information. This is pushing certain history down while lifting up the supremacy of another one. How is he allowed to do this? Anybody that looked into it, he's going back to charge them. Miss Brown, some of the others. Today, just on some petty shit. How much is he costing the U.S. in these petty law? Somebody pays for that, by the way. This isn't fun stuff that you should just see in the news. Somebody's paying. We are paying for him to fuck around with the judicial system. On top of that, in the news, this is a convicted SA'er. Say the victim's name because her name is out there. I normally wouldn't. I would just say the lady. But since she's the woman that took on this idiot head on, I believe Jean Carroll, who won the lawsuit of defamation and SA against Donald Trump. His response today is he wants that expunged from his record, even though he was guilty of it. There are people, there are victims out there from this sort of system. These two people, what do you think they're saying to each other there? What do you think they're saying to each other in this picture, right? What they've said to each other many times before. They knew each other very well. Is there a picture, by the way, where Epstein doesn't have that smug, fucking smarmy bullshit grin on his face like he just know he's up to shit? Was there one of those? How was his fucking prison picture? How was it at the funeral, on the program for this guy? Did he have the same smug, I'm better than you face? Do they think at this time in this picture that any of this shit will catch up? Or were they just riding the highs of the wave of what privilege could afford them at the time? This is not surprising. Now, you don't have to go as far as anything here and believe in any Illuminati nonsense or anything like that. Yeah, there are certain elite privileged clubs, cults, whatever you want to call them, skull and bones, secret societies. I believe this might be tied in just a specific elite group. It was a system. And the thing that made it okay were the players that were involved and the people that were, if you could call it, I'm doing quote unquote here, benefiting from it. And there was no judgment, because this is the type of individuals that dwell in this sort of treatment. They expect this. Their fathers did this sort of shit. So this is big. This is about the control how media handles it, how both sides, Dems, conservatives, handle this information. This is bigger than these just two people or one name or who's in power now. Because he was doing this before he was the president or your president. Really disgusting. If you think a guy won't even stand up to the things that he did before this case is even closed to get his name off of a SA case that he's been found convicted of without even caring, you think he has Ghislaine Maxwell? You don't think she's going to be pardoned sooner than later for her participation? Why are so many people? This is the people that voted for this guy. Why are you so silent? This doesn't only mean that you're silent in racial issues. You don't either. Or you're so robotically controlled by this maniac. Either you're afraid because the people around you still hold him to a very high regard, or you accept this is an extension of the behavior that you would have in this situation too. How dare he strike out at American history icons, remove their names, remove statues, artifacts from museums to prop others up. The only thing I will agree with Hillary Clinton is calling them degenerates. Not all. Understand, we can't look at this and say this is all conservatives. This is an elite portion of the conservatives supported by less affluent ones that don't get or don't understand the game that they're playing and what they're supporting, because each one of these guys, they support this for their individual needs and don't think of the ripple effects of how it affects others, much less the society around them that has to function in the garbage that these guys put up. But these are the guys that look down at you. When you hear the released phone calls and the text messages from the young conservative that they just call kids fooling around, being racist and stuff, this is what they identify with. Not that it's immoral, not that it's unethical. They want to get exactly what this picture is showing. They want to get to that level so that they have to answer to no one. And that's what's going on. I just wanted to spend a few minutes speaking my piece on this because this is one of the things I generally don't do updates on these situations. But this one, while we have new information popping out, and we have to really categorize what this means in history, in society here, that this president is doing this shit. And how much of a mess and just how ridiculous that it is. And if you compare this behavior to any other president, I guess other than the 60s or 50s, when there's transparencies, there's supposed to be, run down the list of his 34 convictions. And he sits on top of the free world. He doesn't care anything about inflation or about your personal problems, much less the country that you're in and you have to navigate under a different set of rules. So let that sink in for a little bit. I just wanted to get my 2 cents in on the case. We can't forget this, just the point that this isn't just Epstein. It's not just Trump. This is a behavior that this country cannot afford to have already, though. It has the stigma of being this type of country, those type of people. This is the way that they operate. We have to get integrity going back. When we had integrity, you guys deflated that, took shots at it every day. Now we got this. This is some bullshit romper room, high school. We presidents, at least, no matter what side they fell on, you thought maybe they were a little more knowledgeable than you. Definitely more suited for the life of politics and making those decisions. They're supposed to be a little bit more intelligent on some of these things. Now these guys, these are reality show people with poor judgment and inflated egos. And somehow this is what's supposed to be what leadership is all about. We need to double think that, y'all. This file, when they finally do release these files, because if this idiot thinks they're going to release alien files in JFK and MLK, and they won't release his sooner than later, either we should be scared about the sort of power that he holds, or we should prepare for the nonsense and really deal with it. Fucking call it out. In the age of, we did the Me Too, the transparencies, this and that, the canceling of everything. How is this staying afloat? Ask yourself that. Shit. This is Last Call Reacts, and I've reacted. Do me a favor. Like, share, subscribe. Check me out live. Hanging out with Josephine and whoever else decides to call in and join us. Really appreciate that. And check out the station, man. Check out the channel. Appreciate having you guys out. Last Call Reacts. Peace.